Hello, my name is Mandy. I am an author platform specialist here at the Author Spot. Our goal at the Author Spot is to rescue authors burdened under the mountain of technology needed in today's authoring world. In the Spotlight is a video series where we explore author platform technologies and engage in topical interviews with our author members. As we like to say at the Author Spot, go on and write, we'll handle the tech. In this episode, we interview Dr. S.R. Wittmann, who has just published the Author Spot AI audiobook, Unchained and Undercover. Here with that interview is Carla, our TAS customer happiness influencer.
Welcome to In the Spotlight. My name is Carla, and with us today is Dr. S.R. Wittmann, author of Unchained and Undercover. Welcome, Dr. Wittmann.
Thank you for having me.
So, you recently published an audiobook version of Unchained and Undercover?
Yes, that's right. It was published in the first quarter of 2024.
Can you share with our listeners a little bit about that?
Sure. I published the print and ebook version of Unchained back in 2017, but not an audiobook. At the time, the cost of studio narration was prohibitive, closing in on $7,000.
You mean $7,000?
Yes, the cost of audiobook production was more than hiring a line editor.
But, you just published the audiobook version, so what changed?
In the past 7 years, AI TTS has come a long way.
Can you explain TTS for our listeners?
Of course, TTS is an acronym for text-to-speech. Back when I published the print version of Unchained, the only TTS available were voices engineered by AT&T. These voices sounded hollow and mechanical. They lacked intonations and nuances that made the simulated voice sound real. I brought 2 examples of TTS with me to help illustrate the point. The first one is the original AT&T voice from about a decade ago. Listen as it reads the first 2 sentences of Lincoln's historical Gettysburg Address.
77 years ago our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
And now listen to the same reading with a modern AI voice.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
The modern voice sounds amazing. Please go on.
Well, once the upgraded versions of TTS were mated with an AI or artificial intelligence rendering engine, the missing intonations and nuances appeared. The AI TTS voice has now evolved into a pleasing, almost human nuanced sound. The cold mechanical sound of years past has given way to a warm, human-like speech that is pleasing to hear.
And this is what changed your mind about making an AI audiobook?
Well, that and the cost. There are still fees, of course, but they are about half the cost of studio production, and the AI process allowed me to fine-tune the sound I was after.
What did you choose?
I found a voice that reminded me of James Earl Jones. Not the real actor's voice, of course, but the AI voice had a deep resonance that gave the narration a feeling of credibility, as if spoken by a wizened and learned professor.
So, your book is academic?
Yes, it's part of the core curriculum at a Bible college that I'm associated with. Unchained and Undercover is a study in biblical theology.
What are your thoughts about using AI TTS for fiction?
Ooh, for fiction. I'd have to say give that one a little more time. From my experience, AI TTS is a good alternative for nonfiction, but it hasn't reached a level of characterization needed for fictional voices. Audio fiction is more of a performance than a reading, and AI TTS just isn't there yet.
Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Wittmann. Would you tell our listeners where they can get a copy of your book?
Certainly. Go to unchainedandundercover.com. Spell it out just like it sounds. The book is available in print, ebook, and audiobook. And a special thanks to the Author Spot for helping navigate this technology maze.
Well, you know what we say at the Author Spot. Go on and write, we'll handle the tech. And to our listeners, thank you for sticking around to the end. Please like and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode of In the Spotlight.